yeah? Got a bit of chorizo stuck in my tooth. Yes, Wagwan, Sunday Sessions, we're back, another episode. Today we are making fish rice. It will look similar to a Spanish dish called paella, but I feel like as soon as you put paella in the name, people just get pissed off, innit? So I'm making fish rice. Rice and multiple fishes, yeah? So, the base to this, pepper, onion, garlic, chorizo, tomatoes and grilled peppers, yeah? So I'm gonna finally chop my base. This is like a sofrito, and we're gonna take time and attention to detail and making sure that it's all chopped down properly, yeah? So I've got one onion. I'm gonna do a nice fine dice. So the reason we're doing a fine dice is that I want the onion to get lost in it, but still give us the flavors that we want from the onion, right? So we want the sweetness and the depth and the background, but I don't want big chunks of onion running through our rice, right? So just chop this down, take your time. This knife that I've got is fucking brand new, so I'm going nice and slow so that I finish this video with all of my fingers. Now I'm cooking this rice half-half. When I say half-half, I mean half on the stovetop and then the other half in the oven, right? Because I want to bake the rice and get a nice crispy bottom like you would with a paella, which is called, George, what's it called? A Socrates? Soccerat is what it's called. Like soccer aid, but different. So that's one onion. I've got these beautiful peppers. Gonna miss the seeds. Take the middle out. Nice and slow. Gentle. This dish is inspired by trips to Spain. I ate in a very good Spanish restaurant recently called Barafina. Ingredients that are commonly used in Spanish cooking is what I'm going for, to give me that essence of being there, I guess. All of those memories from like holidays, or when we shot in Mallorca on our last night we had paella, although this isn't a paella. Those are just the flavors that I'm going for, right? So same size as our onion, yeah? Because we want it all to cook at the same time. I'm going heavy on the peppers because peppers is going to give us a sweetness. If you want to use an everyday red bell pepper, use a red bell pepper. I like the pointier peppers because they're nice and sweet. When you start to cut them and they let off all of their juice and they smell sweet, but they also smell fiery. So that's the peppers done and boxed off. From there, we're gonna move on to garlic. I reckon I'm making enough rice for 4 people. Italians normally go 2 cloves of garlic per head, but I'm gonna rein back on this and I'm gonna go 5. And the garlic, I don't ever in my life finely chop garlic. I finely slice it always. I don't chop garlic because I feel like when you chop garlic or mince it, you get no fucking control on how it cooks. Whereas when you slice it, you can see it starting to caramelize or starting to burn or letting off its fucking sugars. So I always slice my garlic. It was taught to me very early on in my career, and I've always cut garlic the same way since. So just take the outer skin off. I'm gonna leave them whole and then just slice them down. Onion, garlic, pepper. Here, chorizo, yeah? This is gonna give us like fucking meaty, fatty, paprika-y depth and background. I'm using the raw type, and I'm just gonna cut it into little battens and then just cut it into the same size as the onion and garlic. Basically, all I want from this is to bleed its oil to help cook all of these things. As I cut it, my mouth's fucking watering, bruv. Almost like sobrasada in colour. And that, for now, is our base done. Here, although I'm making fishy baked rice, I've got a paella pan. The reason I'm using a paella pan is that it's got an entirely flat surface, which means that's where all the direct heat goes. And if we want our Socrates on the bottom, Socrato, Soccerat, if we want to make our Soccerat, we need all of this heat. And it's got little dimples to disperse the heat. So although the heat's hitting here, it's going to travel all the way out. And essentially what we want is the stock to get stuck, sucked right in and then crisp the bottom, yeah? So, fish baked rice pan on. Police in helicopter, search for marijuana. Policeman in the street, Edmonton. Burning marijuana upon the corner. Right, where this pan's brand new, I've just brought it up to temperature and stuck some oil in it just to give it a little season. These baked fish rice pans get really hot really quickly, like a wok. There's not much to them. I don't know why George is laughing, but that's what they're called. So, we want a good amount of oil in here because we are going to cook a base out. Do you know, actually, I've had a change of plans. I'm going to cook my squid first, okay? So I'm going to seal my squid. I've got some sliced bits of squid here because if I don't seal this squid, it won't bake in the rice. So sliced bits of squid, I'm just going to season. I'm just going to add this to the pan. It doesn't need a long cook. So look, 30 seconds is all I'm giving it. The tentacles I'm going to give a little bit longer. Sorry, George. A nice hot pan, making sure you're searing and not steaming, right? All right, geezer. Chill out, son. So now, this beautiful squid scented pan, and we're going to go in with onions first. So when the onions go in, like every other recipe, handful of salt. Right, so onions are getting more translucent and soft. Now I'm going to go in with my peppers next. Peppers in, new ingredient in the pan, season. Welcome the peppers to the party. Oh, go on, you alright? How you been? Yeah, cool. Staying out on my guy. Peppers in. Now, we've got two things in this pan that when you fry with oil and add salt, they release moisture, which equals sugar, right? So we're going to cook these down until all the moisture's gone, and we're left with a really sweet, translucent cooked base. When chefs talk about cooking your base out, that's what you want to be looking for. So you heard when the peppers went in, it went straight away, cooking the moisture off. It's now started to relax, and everyone's like, yeah, cool, we've introduced ourselves, we're all right, how are you? You're nice to see you. You're allowed in, your name's on the list. Now what we're waiting for is to hear that sizzle come back up and be intense again, which means the moisture has cooked off. Por favor. Por favor. Una cerveza, por favor. That means one beer, please. Now, from here, I'm going to make a little well in the middle. A little bit more oil. And this is where chorizo gets to bleed in, right? We're going to see the colours change in our pan. It's going to bring us a fatty, porky background. All good, sir? Does, doesn't it? Already, Ty, taste this. Just from that alone, attention to detail, chorizo, you know that it's going to be a fucking good dish at the end. Banging, though.
The fish?
Yeah.
How long for this ready?
15, 20 minutes. The chorizo started to render, the colour's changed, and we're getting like a paprika-y vibe on our base, right? I'm satisfied, and I'm going to go in with a little pinch of saffron. Now, saffron is the inside of a flower. Yeah, this is the bit that pollinates, but what it does is it gives you like a floral flavour, and it also allows you to change the colour of food. Really expensive in some countries, but a little pinch of saffron goes a long way. There's a terrible cloud coming this way. Right, saffron is in. White wine. Half a glass? Not that much white wine? Thank you. Delicious. And we're just going to cook this white wine completely out. Come get your famous Spanish seafood rice. It's not paella. It's just seafood rice. My wine's cooked out, and I forgot to put my garlic in, so I'm just going to put my garlic in now. Doesn't matter. Just means we're going to get a garlicier flavour. So garlic goes in next. When you're doing this at home, put the garlic in before the white wine. Garlic's in. Let that have a mingle. And now the smell in the air has changed. It's gone from white wine to fucking paprika, garlic, sweetness, seaside. There's not even any fucking fish in this yet. But where we cook the squid in this pan, we've picked up all that flavour, right? Garlic's cooked, base is cooked out. I'm going to add 4 peeled tomatoes, raw. Don't want to use tin because I want to keep this light and spring-like, almost summer vibes. So I've just peeled them and they're going to go in like this, but they will still let off all of their juices as soon as they touch the pan, right? So this now stops us from frying again and we're back to stewing. This is going to stop us getting any unwanted colour on our base. You don't need to see me cube up this monkfish, do you? And I'm just going to make little chunks that can sit in our rice. Like bite-sized pieces, and the monkfish is going to absorb all of the stock that we're going to put in and be nice and tender. I want to stay quite thick with it because it gives me room that I know if I'm cooking too fast, then my monkfish isn't going to fucking overcook. And where monkfish is like a meatier fish than a cod or a piece of haddock, it's not going to break down and flake, it's going to stay whole. These tomatoes are starting to soften. I just want to be at a point where I can squash them and there isn't like a lumpy texture in our base. Let me talk to you about stock. Traditionally, with not paella, you'd use a fish stock, yeah? But I had some chicken bones messing around from a previous recipe, but what I did do was all the bones that I gathered from the bits of fish that I prepped, the monkfish bone, the shells from the prawn, and if you're going to the fishmonger, ask them for any white bones. I made a chicken stock, and I just added the bones into that and then drained it, and it's now a chicken and fish collab, yeah? If you can't be bothered to make chicken stock at home, buy the ones in packets, but when you go to the fishmonger, ask them for scraps and ask them for prawn shells and ask them for bones, and then just do the process. Add your fish bones, add your fish bones to the chicken stock, bring it up to the boil, simmer it for 20 minutes, and you can put aromatics in it, you can put celery in it, you can put fennel in it, but if you can't be fucking bothered, don't. But for best results, stick a bit of mirepoix in there. Right, so now, here, we've cooked off all the moisture. You see how we're starting to get these charred bits on the corner of this pan, just here? That is an indicator that we've no longer got any moisture in this pan, and we've just got a beautifully cooked base. Food is about stages. The onions started to disappear, the garlic's still about because of the way we sliced it, but I can now break down the tomatoes with the side of my spatula. Now, this wouldn't be not paella without using paella rice, yeah? So here's a mug of paella rice that I'm just gonna pour in. Paella rice is different to other rices. We're keeping the starch on it, and we didn't wash it, but I want the rice to absorb our base and be one uniform color. And after this, we're gonna try our hardest not to fucking stir it, yeah? Because that's gonna release starch and give us a clumpy ending. We don't want that. I'm gonna go a sprinkling of salt, and I'm gonna put in my first batch of stock. So this is our fish and chicken stock. And as soon as it hits the bottom of the pan, the noise will change and it will go to a gentle sizzle. So I'd say the first amount of stock is a mug and a half worth with the mug that you measured your rice in. This shit's all done by eye now, yeah? So we're gonna put our first load of stock in and let the stock get sucked up. We're gonna cook the stock off completely, and we're gonna see where our rice is at to the bite, right? At that point, we then need to figure out whether it needs the same amount of stock again because it's too raw, or if it's a little bit of stock and straight into the oven. It's a juggling process here, but I'm gonna show you the key points of how to know when you're getting to that point, right? Understand? With me? Cool. I'm just going to chop these bits of squid into more manageable pieces. They are semi-cooked, but I'm just going to go in half once more, just so that when you bite down on a piece of squid, it is bite-sized and you don't have to fucking chew it for days. Also, you can use cuttlefish. Cuttlefish is a better braising fish. Tastes like squid, almost octopusy. But squid you have to be careful with, it's delicate. You can see how we've just ever so slightly cooked this. We've taken the rawness off, but it's not cooked all the way through. You just need to be mindful, dropped a bit, you just need to be mindful that this is going back in the oven and we want everything to cook near enough the same time. The rice has now come to surface, you can see it. These little air holes are where the bits of moisture is being sucked down through the bottom. The rice isn't cooked yet, so I'm adding half a mug of more stock. Just like so. Make sure that it's separate and flat. All right, I'm going to dunk this monkfish in. A little season on the monkfish. I'm just going to plonk it into places here and there. And that's going to slowly poach in our paella, not paella. Turn the heat up ever so slightly. And this is going to start to reduce our last bit of stock that's gone in. And then, I want to make it look somewhat pretty, innit? So, I'm going to go prawny. Little prawny prawn. Over the top. Why are they starting to drown already? I've got one prawn that hasn't got a head, so I'm just going to plop her in there. And then we can add in our little cooked bits of squid. The smell completely changes when you put the seafood on top. Now I'm bringing this up to the boil. Still quite a bit of liquid in it. But I think we just fucking risk it for a chocolate biscuit and stick it in the oven and see what happens. Yeah, go on, let's do it. Not paella, going in. I cooked it, bro. Yeah. Right, so not paella's bubbling away. Just gonna add some clams on the top, and the clams are gonna release their juices onto our not paella, and that will be our last touch. The stock's cooked off the top. We've just got clam juice. We've got a little bubble. The rice is sat stiff. All we've got to do is make sure we've got the demi lovato on the bottom, and we're good to go. The demi lovato, the crispy bit. Right, to finish our not paella, a little rough chop of parsley, just for a little greenage. Oh, look at that, man. I'm pretty sure we got the demi lovato on the bottom. What's it actually called? Soccerat. I'm pretty sure that we've established the soccerat. Yeah. Just gonna cut a couple lemons, and people can fucking lemon it themselves. It is quite salty, but I like it. And I reckon this is enough paella. This is enough not paella for 4 people, at least, maybe even 6. Right, so if you are baking this at home, 200 degree oven, bake it for 15 minutes or so. You want all of the stock to reduce, and you want to build, you see these bits around the corner here, where the reduction started to happen. You want all of the water to leave from the side. If you have to finish it on the stovetop to get the demi lovato on the bottom, the soccerade, do so. But it should be good to go. Please make sure we have a crispy bottom. Although it's not paella, I'd like for there to be a crispy bottom. And what you want to do is you want to tip it on itself, and you get the little crispy bun underneath. sure we get a bit of everything. Prawn, mussel, prawn, a little bit of clam, a little bit of monkfish that's cooked into it. I'm going to give it a little olive oil, not traditional, but this whole recipe is not paella. And a little bit of lemon juice, bruv. And now I just want to fucking spoon it into my bumper clout mouth. Right, I know on camera that the Demi Lovato, the stock rat, looks dark, but what it gives you is like caramel, deep notes of almost like, if you've ever burnt a bit of fish skin or a gill on a fish when you're grilling a piece of fish, it gives you that fucking full water experience, like burning fucking shells of scallops in fire, gives you that background note. The rice is cooked beautifully. There's like a fattiness, a gloss that covers it from chorizo. A little chew here and there from squid. Oh. Loads of acid from lemon. The bits of monkfish that's poached into it are fucking great. Then you've got squid. Then there's a fucking prawn. Like, what else do you want, man? This is like the best holiday you've been on.
It's not a paella.
It tastes really similar to a paella or a seafood risotto, but there's like a acidity from the tomatoes, richness from chorizo, clean chicken flavour from the stock. I could be sitting in not Spain and not eating paella and it'd be very similar. It's just fucking great. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. Rice good, fish good, pork good, parsley lemon juice good, cooked good. Stocker out on the bottom. It's a hearty meal. No fucking about.
Definitely not a linguine.
I'm just out here eating it now, bro. Not paella's an expensive dish. You got to spend some money on some seafood, and the rice is like a little bit pricey. But feed 6 people with this, man. Honestly, wait for the sun to come out and make this not paella recipe for your bedrooms. You know what? And I don't look happy, but I'm so satisfied that this was just like, let's make this. It's been a good filming day today. We've eaten some nice food. Not that we don't often eat nice food, but this in particular, to think 3 years ago, this was just a plan that we had over in FS in Haringey. And now man are just here making not paellas for people, you get me? Like, the way the world changes, cuz. I've got to dish some up for my mum because it's her favourite thing to eat. So, thanks mum. Mum often helps with like the cleaning and that, and the prep. So I feed mum well. This is mum's repayment. Large up all the mums. Make this for your mum, man. Your mum will fucking love this, bruv. Just be like, do you know what, mum? I found this recipe. It's not paella, but it's like paella. I'm gonna make it for you. And just make this for your Marge, man. She'll fucking love it. And if not, make it for your dad. But I promise you, this is a dish that you won't forget. And also, don't fucking come at me in the comments, is that paella? No one put you there in paella. Paella. Shut the fuck up, bruv. Let people eat food the way they want to eat food, cook food the way they want to fucking cook food. Será, this one for you. Thank you. Gracias. Una cerveza, por favor. Aquí. Aquí.
Chop House Films.
Can you say films?
Film.
Films.
Films.